There are many different sociological theories of crime and deviance, none of which provide a complete explanation of crime in society, let alone of all deviant behaviour. Why then has it been difficult to reach consensus in sociology about how to explain crime and deviance? There are at least 5 main reasons for this. First, there are differences in the aims of the theories or in what they seek to explain. These in turn are related to the different research questions researchers are asking or the different hypotheses they're trying to test. Some theories, for example, are concerned with explaining the causes of crime or deviance, while others are concerned with explaining how certain activities come to be defined as crime or deviance in the first place. Second, different theories are focused on different aspects of crime and deviance. For example, some theories focus on explaining the motivations for crime or deviance, while others focus on social responses to crime, such as how offenders are dealt with in the criminal justice system. Third, different studies focus on different units of analysis. These can range from the individual or community level up to the level of the whole society, or even how globalisation affects patterns of crime or deviance. Theories which are developed to explain phenomena at these different levels will also consequently vary in terms of their scope and level of abstraction. Fourth, where different theories come into conflict with each other in explaining crime or deviance, there isn't always a decisive test situation which can decide which theory is right. Experiments are often used in the natural sciences to test theories, to isolate cause and effect mechanisms, and to understand how things work. Experiments, however, have been used much less in sociology to establish relationships of cause and effect. This is for a number of reasons, including cost, impracticality, and ethical issues. Sociologists, for example, couldn't ethically expose different groups of people to affluent or poor social conditions just to see how this affected their propensity to crime. Participants in such a study, other people affected by any crimes committed, and sociologists themselves with knowledge of any crimes committed would all be placed in danger of some sort. Sometimes, however, experiments are possible to resolve disputed theoretical issues. When television was introduced for the first time to the South Atlantic island of St Helena in the 1990s, it gave researchers a unique opportunity to conduct a natural experiment. They could study children's behaviour before and after the introduction of television. In particular, they could study whether children's behaviour changed after watching violence on television. The researchers noted that television is often accused of inciting antisocial behaviour such as destructiveness, teasing and fighting. However, the researchers found that this view was not borne out by their study. They found no significant increases in antisocial behaviour among the children after television was introduced to the island. Finally, theories will differ because of the background assumptions that they're based on. For example, some theories are based on assumptions about society being a consensual order, which makes fairly uniform judgments about crime and deviance. However, other theories are based on assumptions about society being pluralistic and culturally diverse. In this case, judgments about right and wrong, crime and deviance will not always line up between different groups, and there will be important differences between them on these issues. These kinds of differences can all be very productive for sociologists in thinking through how certain kinds of activities come to be criminalised or decriminalised, or how judgments about deviance or normality come to be made. In summary, first, there are at least 5 main reasons for the existence of different theories that explain crime and deviance. There are differences in the aims of the theories, the aspects of the topic studied, the units of analysis, the absence of decisive test situations to evaluate the theories, and the background assumptions of the theories. Second, these kinds of differences can all be very productive for sociologists in thinking through how certain kinds of activities come to be criminalised or decriminalised, or how judgments about deviance or normality come to be made.